The East African country of Uganda is home to one of the youngest and poorest populations in the world. War and HIV/AIDS have taken the lives of parents and caregivers, leaving many of these children alone. To the world, you may only be one person, but it only takes one person to change the world. This idea is inspiring a new generation of educators and practitioners focused on breaking the cycle of poverty, one child at a time.
They changed the whole picture of how we would see the world, and actually they gave us hope to the future.
For nearly 2 decades, in a rural region known as Masaka, a team of researchers have been trying to keep kids in school. And today, like every day, there's work to do. Uganda has made primary education free for children. While many thrive, there's still a cost for books and uniforms or tuition for high school. Studies have shown orphaned youth are more likely to drop out because they lack resources and even optimism about their own futures. WashU professor and child health expert Dr. Fred Ssewamala believes the numbers can tell a different story.
As you can see, the numbers keep going down, and by the time kids are in primary 7, you have half of, or less than half of the ones who started, which really means that there is something happening. So you need to intervene early, before these kids drop out. Oh, these are serious students. I'm a professor in the US at one of the. Who knows where the US is?
From Uganda, but trained in the United States, Ssewamala, who is affectionately known as Dr. Fred, began with a focus on finances.
3,500.
His research studies nearly always include opening kids' savings accounts in their own names, and whatever they save will be matched. It's one of several economic strengthening tools he uses to empower the households caring for these students. And already, this work has changed the future for over 70,000 children and their families.
The problem these days we see is that because we have high numbers of young people who have been orphaned as a result of HIV and AIDS, the extended family systems are overextended. So many of the kids who would have been raised by extended family members, like I was, are not taken in by extended family members anymore. So that's why we have high numbers of children on the street in a country which prizes community and family.
There is an African proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child." And when returning to the village where he was raised, Dr. Fred is reminded why. He never knew his mother. She died when he was 3. Years later, when war broke out, soldiers would invade his home, shooting his father and siblings. Dr. Fred survived, only to become what he'd never imagined he'd be, an orphan.
This is the primary school where I was for the first 6 years of my life. Growing up as an orphan child at that particular time really meant you were stigmatized. And so what I work on is not simply an interest of mine, it's really partly lived experience. But this is typical of some kids even sitting down on the floor. So this is a classroom, a usable classroom. Kids study in here. And this is sad, but this is a fact. And this is where some of us came from.
Extended family, uncles, aunts, and a church community took Dr. Fred in, believed in him, and paid for his education. Not only did that give him stability, it gave him something more, a second chance.
I know exactly what these young people are going through, and really I wanted to dedicate my life to a similar population to the way I grew up.
Dr. Fred would go on to graduate at the top of his class and receive degrees from prestigious universities, first in Uganda, then the United States.
This is the time I was leaving for Makerere University, that's me. By the way, these clothes were not mine. These clothes belonged to my half-brother, who is this one.
But in many ways, he never left the primary schools of his youth. He's been dedicated to helping children reach their fullest potential ever since.
What I'm trying to do with some of these young people is to create a path, to create an institution, to give them the opportunity that will allow them to be able to think about the future differently, not only for themselves, but also for an entire generation, for an entire country. And that's what we are trying to do.
Changing a child's future takes a village of its own.
I'm very proud of you, and I know for sure that even if I don't come back for the next 5 years, IChAD will survive.
Dr. Fred founded the International Center for Child Health and Development, or IChAD, which manages multiple studies funded by the NIH, one of the largest funders of health research in the world. IChAD employs over 60 people, from study coordinators to health counselors, hiring many from within the local communities. But they are rarely in the office. Staff work in more than 100 area clinics and schools to meet families where they are. Each study starts with screening a parent or caregiver to discuss what the family needs. Some may receive a savings account match or training to start an income-generating business. Others may receive mental health therapies or simply a safe setting to talk openly about their experiences. The greater Masaka region has long been the epicenter of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. While manageable today with medication, the disease can still stigmatize a child at school if orphaned from it or unknowingly born with it. So studies are often layered to see which set of interventions work best, and participants are re-interviewed over a number of years. Results inform the launch of new studies, which are often community events.
On behalf of the IChAD family, we are delighted to see you here. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Past participants mingle with beloved church and community leaders to celebrate successes, like Maltina's. At age 10, she joined a study. Now she's in college studying finance.
I just want to thank the people that really have made me who I am today. If not for them, probably I would never be here.
Participants so far have been able to save over $60,000, enabling more children to stay in school. Families have also reported improved mental health outcomes, all of which are helping them to redefine what their futures will be. Dr. Praskovia Nabunya, who leads studies addressing the stigma of HIV/AIDS, ensures IChAD's research methods reflect the communities it serves.
Collaborating with our community members, that's one of the highlights of the work we do. It is really amazing to see how experienced and knowledgeable members of our communities are. You may think that you know what is good for them, but they're experts on their lives, so they know things that will work and things that won't work.
This is knowledge Dr. Praskovia takes back to her classroom, where she mentors master's and PhD students. Some of them will go on to launch similar studies around the world. Others will use this data to inform policy. It's all part of an effort to train the next generation of researchers like Dr. Praskovia. She is one of 20 IChAD staff who have gone on to pursue higher education in the United States. In fact, she was just a college student herself in Uganda 17 years ago, when Dr. Fred hired her to coordinate his very first study. She too was an orphan, having lost both her parents to HIV/AIDS. Now, she is setting the example for other promising students.
You look at these young people in these schools, striving to get an education. They don't have shoes, they have torn uniforms, but they are yearning for that education. For me, that shows really a level of resiliency. This is the generation that is going to change the country, and there's no better way to do that than to impart knowledge and to give them opportunities.
Part of being with IChAD, I met very many people that were an inspiration to me, that they made me believe life can offer a second chance. Our success is their success, and I must make you prouder, you people. That is my pledge, to make you prouder and to make the entire world proud of us.